My name's Adam Young, the creator of Balance Inc., the brand. I've been working on it for at least 20 years, and until now it's been a cottage industry, but we want to turn it into the mainstream with our movie Balance Inc., The Greatest Debate. There's really value in this. I really believe in this movie, and I think it can be a great success. This is Martin, my associated director. He's going to take you through the concept of the movie and hopefully show you how exciting the project is.
As Adam said, what we're going to do is actually give you a flavour of the movie concept, and I'm just going to take you through some scenes. I've got my laptop here, so that's why I'll be looking down and things like that. But this is for the first 15 to 20 minutes, just to give you a flavour of what's going on. So the film essentially is a sci-fi adventure, light comedy, real world facts, all interwoven into a sci-fi parody. And we've got two main characters. One is called Zach Zog, and he's a mix of, if I can use these names, Elon Musk and Jim Carrey, but not an extreme Jim Carrey, if you can understand that, as a megalomaniac. And Makia is cool, silent assassin. And we've envisaged somebody like Christian Bale to actually portray this type of character. So the first scene is actually an alert goes off. Now if you can just imagine in your mind's eye a scene just like Starship Enterprise, where they're all sat on the bridge and the alert, a Wadner, is actually messaging the oxygen is depleting on Earth, and you've got a whole team of people there. The second scene, and this is where we interweave this comedic stuff, we've got two of the team members talking about how do you say the word Awadna? 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 So we're trying to actually get a flavour of the alert going on, this real, massive problem for the Earth, and then this little kind of sideshow going on talking about Awadna. The third scene is Balance Inc. headquarters in London, and two interviewers are actually walking towards the building, but they've got the location of the building and there's nothing. There's nothing to be seen. All of a sudden, Balance Inc. Towers actually raises from the floor, and it's a perfect, it's a bunker really for security, but it just raises up out of the floor. Then these two interviewers go and interview Zach Zog, and he talks about everything, like almost like a god visionary. And then he brings it back to a place where he's talking about, okay, for the general human beings, this is what it means, is that we have to try and actually, we know that there's light in the world and there's darkness in the world. And the darkness is always trying to take over the light. And what Balance Inc.'s objective is to actually balance that all out to keep it in some kind of harmony. Scene 5 is the introduction of Makia, a witch, who is his sidekick. And he's riding his motorbike through the streets of London, and he stops at a roadside cafe to speak to Witch through an AI chip. Makia is super cool, and his face changes from human to devil as we actually see his inner and outer persona. Witch is in a mental hospital where she's been locked up for her problems with humanity in the past, and they discuss releasing a toxin, and we see Witch opening a can containing this toxin. Black Ink have put a delay on Awadna so that it doesn't recognise that this depletion has started for 2 days. Scene 7 is that those 2 days later, the team are watching Ewodna working on the possibilities of the toxin. So now we're back to where that alert is going off. And Ewodna starts trying to process, okay, with this depletion going on, what can happen? And it comes up with two conclusions. One is, let's go fishing, because there's nothing we can do. Or, let's go save the planet. The next scene is in Zak Zog's kitchen. And there's a discussion between Zak and his wife, called Shaz. She asks, what are you doing today? And Zak says, I'm going to save the planet. So he has his brunch in a teardrop and puts his rucksack on and says, see you later. Zak then descends to his basement, to his transport chamber. He speaks to Ewodna and sets the dial to travel backwards 2 days. His transport capsule disappears. The next scene is that Zak Zog appears seconds later back in his kitchen. Zak passes out and Chaz checks his computer armband to see a projection of what has happened to him. Zak's now again in his kitchen and Chaz watches a hologram of what has gone on. She sees Zak go downstairs, get into his time machine and disappear. The next scene is in Zak Zog's time machine. It's travelling horizontally at hyperspeed and then goes vertically into balancing towers. The next scene is in balancing tower itself. So Zak gives the first instructions to lock down the building, and the building again descends into the floor. Zak briefs a team of what he needs. The team are elite scientists led by Dave, who's an alpha male, and Dennis, who's LGBT. Zak briefs his team and he needs to go and save the planet. He instructs, make sure Ewodna is not infiltrated by Makia or Black Ink. The team, and also make sure to water the plants. Zak re-enters his time machine and the machine disappears. The machine now appears up a tree. As it drops down out of the tree, Zak says, I hate it when that happens. And Zak climbs out of the time machine. As he's walking towards a pub, he hears a motorbike behind him and turns and realises that it's Makia. Zak says to Makia, hello old friend. Makia takes off his helmet and his face changes again from this normal to the devil. Zak says, hand over the pollutant to me, old boy. Makia does as he's told. They're still outside of the pub. Zak turns to put the pollutant into his rucksack and tells Makia that he employs him to do the dirty work, and is pleased that he brought the pollutant as Ewodna had told him that he had it. Makia then replies, I hate balancing. I want the money and power for myself, and I want humans to bow down before me, not to you. Whilst doing this, Makia sends a text to Witch. Still outside of the pub, an almighty fight ensues between Zak and Makia. The time machine recognises that Zak is in trouble and moves itself to collect him. Unconscious, Zak is transported away, and whilst travelling, the pollutant in Zak's rucksack begins to leak. Now, again, we're back into Zak's kitchen, and this is the scene where they were seconds later. Seemingly, they are leaving the kitchen. Zak staggers back into the kitchen. Chaz once again reviews the trip, which notifies mission fail. Dave and Dennis arrive to take Zak to be treated. Shaz continues to review his arm panel and finds Iwodna has highlighted the text sent to Makia. The text said, "Release the toxin now." So we envisage that for the first 15 to 20 minutes, that is setting up the whole scene for the rest of the film.
Well, thank you for listening, and I hope we've given you a flavour of what we're trying to do. This presentation only scratches the surface of the narrative that we're trying to portray. It's part of a trilogy of audiobooks, and what we're looking for is funding to take it on to the next stage of screenplay construction and script construction. And again, thank you for your time.